Hey everybody, it was so great to see you all this morning and put faces with names. I have read your discussion board posts from last week and reviewed your quiz results also from last week and have made adjustments and grades. Your quiz predominantly went well. There was one question that was in the mix of questions. If you got the question about seclusion and restraints, I threw that question out. It was correctly keyed, but I think without having the mental health aspect of your nursing education, I think understanding the complexity and the risks and dangers for seclusion and restraint was probably a bridge too far. Just to remind you that if you do not properly follow your policies for your restraints and seclusions, you have a possibility of being of violating either the false imprisonment, battery, assault, and negligence. So all four of those were correct. So it was correctly written and worded, but I think it was probably more complicated and it's something that needed more of a discussion than you had. So if you had that question and you got it wrong, I made adjustments. Everything else tested well. Your last quiz is this week, quiz 5. Make sure that you do that and have time to kind of to think about the concepts and wrap that quiz up as early in the week as you can, so you have time to kind of move on to other things. But just know that it's the assignment due this week. As far as the discussion boards, this was something that I thought was a great opportunity for you to go in and look at the Nurse Practice Act. Your classmate, Amy, is the award winner for the most peer replies. And I thought, wow, that's just really interesting. And then I realized that almost everybody else posted on the initial licensure section. So Amy and I think Anthony, there may be one other person. Almost everybody did that first section of the initial licensure. So the reason most of you were replying to Amy was because she was the other different one. So thank you, Amy, for keeping this assignment alive. Anthony as well. My hope is that you, first and foremost, hanging on to that initial licensure piece and reviewing that makes perfectly good sense. No harm with that at all. Be sure you read the rest of it. You're going to be in practice and held accountable to that Nurse Practice Act, and it is relevant for your practice. It is also relevant for your licensure exam. The NCLEX and ATI want you to know what the Nurse Practice Act is and how it governs you and what elements are commonly found in the Nurse Practice Act. So be familiar of how important that is and then how it guides your practice, because if you're in the timeout chair because you did something you weren't supposed to do, that Nurse Practice Act is going to be the yardstick they use for how much trouble you're going to be in for not protecting your patients and honoring your license. So be mindful of that. It's always good for me when I read those, the discussion boards, and I see you folks saying, wow, I didn't know this. One of the I didn't know this things that came up several times was not being aware that you had to have a picture done for your licensure. And I know that sounds like a silly thing, but there's so many little pieces and parts of getting ready to submit your application and then going and sitting for it. It never occurs to you, I've got to have that 2x2 picture. The great thing is there are so many places locally that will do those passport photos. So be mindful of that. Interestingly, when I moved from Virginia, which is part of a compact state with South Carolina, you would have thought I had never had a nursing license in my life. I had piles of paperwork. I had to go be fingerprinted. I've never been fingerprinted for a nursing license, but South Carolina takes that seriously. Had to have my picture done. It was crazy. And I came from a compact state, so I've had a license in Virginia, North Carolina, and I think Delaware is a compact state as well. It did not matter. They took it seriously. So if you're planning on being in South Carolina, they're paying attention. Okay, so let's talk about the loose ends. Between now and the end of the course, or Sunday, you've got a lot of things you've got to get done. And they need to be done this week. So this week, remember, you've got quiz 5. Review the voiceover PowerPoints, take some notes, and then make sure you're done your reading, the PowerPoint, and then take the quiz. Get that done. You took your practice ATI this morning. Do your focused review. Get that done. Remember, it's handwritten. You're going to follow the format. You've always followed it. I'm actually going to read it, so make sure you do it correctly. You're going to scan that in, and you're going to submit that on Blackboard. There is a link for it. So don't bring that next week. Just scan it in and put it on Blackboard. That way we have it archived for you, and I can grade it there. So you've got your practice review, your ATI transcripts. So you're becoming a professional nurse. Get those transcripts done. Complete that. Post that. Becoming a professional nurse, if you're hanging with me for psych mental health in the fall, hang on to that. I'm going to ask you to review those modules again, and then we're going to actually talk about that in our clinical orientation. So this is not time wasted. You're gonna need those concepts now, but you're also going to apply them in the fall. So it's good that you've gone ahead and gotten that done. So you're becoming a professional nurse, and then your leader case studies 1 through 5. The professional nurse goes in one file, and then the case studies go in another. And again, there's links for those. Scan them, copy them, and drop them in. And again, those just have to be done, and I'll go through and check those off and give you credit. I cannot post your final grade until the ATI elements are done. It's a requirement of your enrollment here. It's an ATI thing, so we've just got to get that done. I suspect it probably feels like you've got thousands of little pieces and parts. Use your course calendar and check them off as you get them done. So as long as you've got your focused review, your case studies, and you're becoming a professional nurse, those are the things, the big things. Get your quiz done. You don't have a discussion board this week. And the last thing, you've got your leadership project. And remember, we talked about this morning. It's a worksheet. The work is talking with your leader, getting the information, and then typing it up. As long as you're following the rubric and you're following the script that's been provided, you're going to be in good shape. Be sure that the person you're interviewing is answering the questions that you're asking. If you ask them about the biggest problems that they have in their professional practice, and they don't answer the question, refocus it and re-ask the question. So make sure before you hang up or walk away, or however you've decided to approach this interview, make sure that you've got the questions that you asked, that you got the answers, and then type those up. Okay, I think that's everything. I'm going to see you again Monday, and we're going to do your proctored ATI. Be on time, be prepared. After you do your proctored ATI, you're going to do your focused review for that, and then you're done. So we are so close to letting you have one last deep breath of summer and getting this course put to bed. If you have questions, if you have concerns, know that I'm here. Send me an email. Ask the Professor discussion board's up there for the logistics, the who, what, where, when, how. But if there's anything specific to you, please reach out to me. My last ask is please do the course evaluation. And my hope is if the course has not gone well and you're unhappy, my hope is that you and I've already had conversations about what your concerns are, and we've walked through that together. The only way I can improve this course or improve my own professional practice is if you tell me how things are going and what went well and what didn't go well for you, and how the course can be adjusted. Know that I value your feedback. I'm looking for your feedback. So I would appreciate if you took the time to do that for me. I will, if I don't hear anything or see you, or if I don't hear from you or see you, I will definitely see you on Monday. Know that I am here, and I'm happy to help if I can. Have a great rest of the week. Take care.